they have been effectively dumbed down and deceived. Did y'all hear that?
Say it again.
When we look at the world today, I'm saying it again because somebody said say it again. Somebody said say it again?
Yeah.
When we look at the world today, we are witnessing the collapse and the fall of the greatest country that the world has ever seen. You see what I'm saying? And the civilization that created it. The masses are living in denial when it comes to their understanding of how critical the times are. And the reason that they are in denial is because they have been effectively dumbed down and deceived. The entire world is living and existing under the deception of the Euro Gentile world power system. That's Western civilization. That's the final form of the Gentile world power system. See, that's the final form. The Gentile, the Euro Gentile world power system, which is Western civilization, is the final form of the Gentile world power system. It's a part of the Gentile world power system. We're living under its deception of historical, human, and religious reality. Now, the word deception means the act or practice of deceiving. To deceive means to make someone believe what is not true. To delude, to mislead, to be false to betray, to lie. See, deceive implies the deliberate misrepresentation of facts by words and action. This is what has happened to the world. And most notably, the so-called black man here in Euro-America. Now, you got to remember what I said when I opened up. Do y'all remember what I said? Rose, you remember? What did I say?
You said, who gave Yaakov for a spoil and Israel to rob? Did not Yah, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he has poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about.
It has set him on fire round about.
That's right.
See? And wow, I didn't even tell her. I didn't mention where I was reading that, did I?
No, sir.
But she knew. Man, she's a student. It set him on fire. It set him on fire round about. Is that right?
That's right.
It set him on fire round about. And what else did it do to him?
Yet he knew not, and it burned him.
And there it is. There it is. That's really what I wanted to get at. Yet he knew not, and it burned him. The thing that burned him was this system that the Creator designed to chasten the nation of Israel. That's what burned them.
Burn.
That is the Gentile world power system. It burned, it's done burnt us up. See, it's done bumped us up. See, we have no knowledge. See, it has destroyed our ability to know who we are. See, this is the theory. Did it say that too?
No, it says, yet he laid it not to heart.
No, but up there in the first one, first of all, where you read that?
Isaiah 42.
Isaiah 42, that's one of my favorites.
24 and 25.
This is what happened to the so-called Negro here in America.
My.
We have been deceived. We have been deceived historically and religiously. We have been deceived into thinking that we're blacks, Negroes, and African Americans. We have bought into the slave system's definition of who we are. We burnt. See? We have been misled into adopting the slave system's definition of human reality. And it has destroyed us.
Right.
It has destroyed our peoplehood.
Yeah.
Our unity and our identity. Now, the challenge for us is to confront this deception head on and to root it out. Is that right?
Come on.
Man, that's a tremendous challenge. Man. The question that the so-called black man in America must eventually put to himself is, how much longer will he continue to look at himself through the lens of his Euro-American slave system experience? An experience that has witnessed the systematic destruction of his human characteristics that even until today have not been restored. The program of psychological warfare that has been unleashed against and upon the so-called African American is unparalleled. It's unparalleled in the annals of human history. It's unparalleled.
What is it?
Unparalleled. You know what that means? It ain't happened to nobody else.
That's right. That's right.
It ain't happened. This what has happened to us has not happened to any other people in the annals of human history.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
See? Okay. All right. Okay, I see y'all don't believe me. Ezekiel. Yeah, Ezekiel, the 5th chapter. Y'all ain't got to get it, but you can get it if you want, because I always want to make sure that. See, this is why it's so important for us to understand who we are. I said that what has happened to us is unparalleled, and it has not happened to any other people in the annals of human history. Ezekiel, the 5th chapter, this is why you got to know who you are. See, because knowing who you are provides an explanation for why you in the condition that you in. You don't know who you are, you can't provide yourself with an explanation for the whys and the wherefores. See, and that's one of the problems that we having right now. Ezekiel, the 5th chapter, the 8th and the 9th verse says, therefore, thus said Yah, behold, even I, that's the most powerful force in the universe.
Right.
See, when the Creator say, even I,
My.
when he say, even I, What you say?
He mean business.
What you say? Who's saying?
I'm against you.
Yeah. When he say even I am against thee. See, who he talking to? He talking to Israel. Here you got the most powerful force in the universe saying, even I am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee, in the sight, get this y'all, in the sight of the nations. I'm going to execute judgment against you in the sight of the nations. That means that the nations of the world are going to bear witness to what I'm getting ready to do to you. Yep. But that ain't the cold part. The cold part is the next verse. And he says, and I will do in thee that. I will do in thee that. What?
Which I have not done.
Read.
And whereunto you I will not do any more of the like, because of all thine abominations.
All right. So I don't want nobody coming up to me talking about, well, you know, such and such went through this, or such and such went through that. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to hear. They did. They probably did. But ain't nobody been done to what the Most High did to Israel.
Come on.
Because the Creator of the nations has said, and I will do in thee that which I have not done. Whereunto I will not do anymore. I ain't gonna do nobody else. Right. Like this. What I done to you. So look here. When I say that the program of psychological warfare that has been unleashed against and upon the so-called African American is unparalleled in the annals of human history, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I can say that. See what I'm saying? That's why it's important for us to be able to identify ourselves. Don't never let no one tell you that it's not important for us to know who we are. That leads me to what we're going to deal with briefly here. That leads me to what we're going to deal with briefly here, which is the historical accountability of the so-called African American in the 21st century. That's the challenge that we have. See, that's the challenge that we have. Is that right? The historical accountability of the so-called African American in the 21st century. What does accountability mean?
Take responsibility.
Right. It means to take responsibility and to be accountable. See? And the challenge for us is to be accountable to what? To our history. See? To be accountable, you all, to our history. And see, that's what we were talking about last night in the Bible study. See, the historical accountability of the so-called African American in the 21st century, answering the call of history. Man, that's a cold phrase.
Who came up with it?
See, because that's where we at. See, we are all, and I said this yesterday, and we want to pick up on this here because we want to take this a step further, and we're gonna always be dealing with things that are relevant. We're talking about the historical accountability. I didn't say the historical accountability of the nations. Did I say that? I said the historical accountability of the so-called African American. Didn't I?
Yep.
Okay. Now, before I get into that, I wanted to. I want to say why it is necessary for us to become accountable in the 21st century. Did you know what Napoleon Bonaparte said? Did you know what Napoleon Bonaparte? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Bonaparte.
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 No, he was a Frenchman. He was one of the 10 toes.
Yeah.
He said that history is a myth men have agreed upon. You know what George Bernard Shaw said? He said, history, sir, will tell lies as usual. You know what M. LeSure, another Frenchman, you know what he said? He said that the history of an oppressed people is hidden in the lies and the agreed myth of its conquerors.
That's right. That's what he said.
That's cold. The history of an oppressed people is hidden in the lies and the agreed myth of its conquerors. And then, you know, President Harry Truman, you know, y'all know who Harry is, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Harry? Okay, good. Not only is he the president, but he's the president that dropped the atom bomb on Nagasaki,
Hiroshima.
and Hiroshima. See, that's who he is. See, and look, y'all. Let me tell you something, in case you don't know.
Come on.
When he dropped that bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, he wove into the American experience the opportunity for somebody to drop a bomb on America. You sit up here and talk that nonsense if you want to, but you gonna what? Read
What you saw.
what you send out is what you get back. See, and if you drop an atomic bomb on somebody, you can bet you believe somebody gonna drop an atomic bomb on you.
That's right. That's right.
You best believe it.
It's gonna happen.
Because you have woven that into your experience. See, that's why you gotta be careful about what you do. See, it ain't what you say, it's what you do. See, so y'all can run around here talking about this and that if you want to. Don't get caught over here when the bombs start falling. Did you not know also that Russia and China has multiple nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles pointed at every major city in the United States of America?
That's right.
Including the Chicago, the state of Illinois. Every major city in the United States, and the United States has the same thing pointed at them. Did you not know that the Third World War has already started?
Come on. Uh-oh. Already taking it back. Uh-oh.
Did you know that the Third World War has already started?
Come on, man.
See? You didn't know that?
Bring
No, I
it.
didn't.
Huh?
I didn't know it.
You didn't know it, did you?
Good company now.
You didn't know that the Third World War has already started? Yeah, it has already started. While I'm standing here right now, we on the south side of Chicago, you know, the Third World War has already started.
Come on, man.
See, yeah, we in it right now. See, and this is why it's so important for us to have historical accountability. And this is why it's so important for the so-called Negro to meet the challenge that is confronting him. Now, Harry Truman said, there is nothing new in the world except the history that you do not know. Ain't that something?
That's something. That's right.
Now, look here, y'all. These are all Europeans. These are all Europeans. Everyone, Napoleon, George, M. LeSure, see, and President Harry Truman, they're all Europeans. And you know why they said what they said? Because they are aware of how they have manipulated the historical record. They know that. You know, that's why Napoleon said history is a myth that men have agreed upon. That's why George Bernard said that history, sir, will tell lies. And go what? Because they've been lying.
They know it.
See? That's why M. LeSure said history of an oppressed people is hidden in the lies and the agreed myth of its conquerors. That's why they said that. That's why they said that there's nothing new in the world except for the history that you do not know. Because they know that they have distorted the record in an attempt to erase from the pages of human history the presence of the so-called Negro. They know they done that.
They know they done did.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
See? Now, y'all. Now. See? Now. The question is, what you gonna do?
That's right.
And that's why we are entitling this discussion answering the call of history. See? Because the question is, what y'all gonna do? What you gonna do, my Montgomery? What you gonna do, Sylvia? What you gonna do, Rose? What you gonna do, Sid? Sid? What you gonna do, Sid? Sid? What you gonna do, Sister Sullivan? I see you sitting back there. I ain't seen you in a long time. How you doing? But what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Viola? I see you got Jotham and Javia with you. And you got your husband with you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Dan? What you gonna do, Rashawn? What you gonna do, Yashua? What you gonna do, y'all? What are we gonna do? See, that's the question. See, what you gonna do? See, why? Why? Because the light of history is shining upon you.
That's right.
See, the light of history is shining upon you. See, we are all made for a moment in history. For a time in history. You must ask yourself, what time in history am I made for? What am I here to do?
Yes, yes.
What is my role? See?
Yes.
And in order to answer, we talked about this last night, didn't we, Rabbi? In order to answer these questions, you must have a historical perspective.
That's right.
Most of our people, they ain't got no historical perspective.
Amen.
And you know, yesterday we asked the question, do you know where historical perspectives come from within the human dynamic? And we said that they come from the society or the social order that you're living under. And this is where we derive our historical perspective from, and it has always been the case. Now, we just read to you what the Europeans have said about history. So we have adopted a distorted historical perspective from those who have put us in chains. See, and insight into that always understands for us that it's not the Gentile system that put us in chains, is it? See, this is insight into the historical reality of our condition. See, is that right?
That's right.
See, this is what you got to know.
Yeah.
See, it's not the European, it's not the white man. The white man. He did it.
He did it to me.
See what I'm saying? That's what we like. Man, I'm gonna get that white man when I get a chance.
That's right, James. Come on, man.
That's what we say. We want to put our foot
On the neck.
on the neck.
Come on.
I did want to put it on the floor.
The rabbi said he did want to do that.
But I didn't know anything.
You understand? See, when we think like that, it's showing us that we have not reached historical maturity.
That's right.
When we think like that. See, the rabbi don't think like that now. Do you, Rabbi? See,
Answer.
because he knows. He knows. See, we just read it in the 42nd chapter of the book of Isaiah. Who gave Israel for a spoil?
Yeah.
See?
Come on with it.
And it told why. See? So now we've got to deal with historical accountability. See? That's where we at today. We at historical accountability. How do you define historical, human, and religious reality? Now, you know, we got to make mention of this because it's important. And we talked about this last night. There has always been a supernatural dynamic or element to the Israelite historical perspective. Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that?
Say it again.
There has always been a supernatural dynamic to the Israelite historical perspective and experience.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
Now, you know, we talked about this earlier.
Come on. Watch out.
Do you know why? Do anybody here know why?
Because we're God's chosen people.
That's one of the reasons why. Because we are dealing with the most powerful force in the universe.
He gave us his law.
And he's dealing with us.
That's right.
Didn't you hear what he said? He said that what I've done to you ain't been done before and it ain't gonna be done again.
That's right.
See? So that the Most High is the supernatural dynamic that is involved in our historical reality.
We can't do nothing about it.
See? You got to be clear on this here. We got to be clear on this here. Now, I want you all to understand something here. And I want to take a look at this here. And we're gonna deal with this here just briefly, and then we're gonna cap it off. Answering the call of history. Let's go to 2 Kings, the first chapter. There's a story here that I want to relate. Rob,
King.
read. First verse, second book of Kings, first chapter. Read.
Then Moab rebelled against Israel
Okay.
after the death of Ahab.
Go ahead. Okay. And
And Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber
Uh-huh.
that was in Samaria
Uh-huh.
and was sick.
uh-huh.
And he sent messengers and said unto them, Go, inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease.
Now, do y'all see what was going on there? What was going on?
Going to a false god.
Here you got this Israelite. Is that right? Acquiring of a false god to see if he's going to be healed. Read 3.
And the angel of Yah said unto Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, It is not because there is not a God in Israel that ye go to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron.
Now that's a question that he's asking. See, because see, we've got to be able to understand why we in the condition that we in today. All right? Are you all with me here? And in order for you to understand, you got to review your history. That's why it's so important for you to know your history.
Amen.
See, here this guy is. He's the king of Samaria, and he's sending his servants to ask a false god that don't even exist if he's going to recover. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. The rabbi said every first day of the week. See, asking what is the climate of our life? A false god.
You don't ask for false God.
See, am I going to recover? See, am I going to recover? And then the Most High, he heard that. He said, look, send this guy down here and tell him, ain't there a man of Yah in Israel?
Yeah.
4.
Now therefore thus saith Yah, Thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And Elijah departed.
That's what Elijah told him. That's what Elijah told him. You ain't gonna recover, bro. You ain't recovering. You're gonna die. Read.
And when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, Why are ye now turned back? And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go, turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, Thus saith Yah, It is not because there is not a God in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And he said unto them, What manner of man was he that came up to meet you and told you these words?
This is the king talking to his servants that he sent out. See? King said, look here. Who said that? 8.
And they answered him, He was an hairy man, and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins.
He was a hairy man. He had a girdle. He had a girdle of leather about his loins. Read.
And he said, It is Elijah the Tishbite.
That's what the king said. He knew immediately.
He knew who he was immediately. That's right.
Read.
And the king sent unto him a captain of 50.
Who sent it?
The king.
Sent who?
The king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50.
50 plus 50 is what?
100.
Read.
And he went up to him, and behold, he sat on top of an hill.
Elijah was sitting on top of the hill. Read.
And he spake unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down.
This is what the captain of the 50, who had a 50 with him, said to Elijah, because the king wanted to see Elijah as to why Elijah was saying that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Read.
And Elijah answered and said unto the captain of 50,
What?
If I be a man of God,
Yes.
then let fire come down from heaven
Uh-huh.
and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50.
Wow. So Elijah said, look here, if I be a man of God, if I be, y'all, if I be a man of God, if I be a man of God, fire come down and consume thee. Read.
Again also he sent unto him another captain of 50.
That didn't impress that king. He wasn't impressed. He was not impressed. So he did what?
Send another fish.
Sent another 50 with his 50.
With his 50. Read.
And he answered and said unto him,
This is what the captain of the 50 with his 50 said.
O man of God, thus hath the king said, come down quickly.
Uh-huh.
And Elijah answered and said unto them,
Yes.
If I be a man of God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the fire of El came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50.
Where you at?
13.
He still was not
Impressed.
convinced. I'm talking about the king. So what he do?
And he sent again a captain of his third 50
Wow.
with his 50.
Now look, y'all. How long does it take you to understand that you are in the presence of a madman? You know what I'm saying? Who have no regard for your life. See, how long do it take you? The king said, go down. The king said, go down. 13, read.
And he sent again a captain of the third 50 with his 50. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah.
Somebody got
Well, somebody began to understand.
There you go.
And what did they understand? That they were in the presence of something. See? Something that demanded what? Respect.
Yes.
That's right.
And the question is, when are we going to understand that we are in the presence of something that demands respect?
Yes, yes.
That's all I'm asking. When are we as a people going to understand that we are in the presence of something that demands respect? So-called Negro, when are we going to take accountability? When are we going to take responsibility? That's all I'm saying. This guy here, he understood. Read.
And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah and besought him and said unto him, O man of El, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servants be precious in thy sight. Behold, there came fire down from heaven and burnt up the two captains of the former 50s and their 50s. Therefore, let my life now be precious in thy sight.
That's all he had to do. What was he doing? He was showing what?
Respect.
He was showing respect. And then what did Elijah do?
And the angel of Yah said unto Elijah, go down with him. Be not afraid of him. And he arose and went down with him unto the king.
Okay, that's all we need. You see what I'm saying? You see what it said? It said, and the angel of Yah said unto Elijah. That's what I'm saying to you all. There's a supernatural element to our historical experience that needs to be respected. Come on.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? See, look, the Gentile don't he don't know nothing. See, it ain't for him. It's for who? It's for us. See, it's for us to know. We the ones that's supposed to know and understand what this thing is that's going on in the earth. We're the ones that's supposed to know and understand how to evaluate the events that are evolving on the world stage. That's our job. That's your job, Rashawn.
Your job.
Yes, you. Jehoshaphat. Jason. See, that's your job. Viola, Sister Rose, Sister Sid, Zephaniah. That's your job. That's who. That's our job. See, that's our job. Why? Because we're supposed to understand the moment in history that we have been what? Made for. See? We're supposed to understand who we are and what our role in history is. Why? Because the Most High has what? Woke us up. See? I ain't talking to, when I'm talking in here, I ain't talking to an average, everyday African American. I'm talking to someone who the Most High has woke up. I'm talking to someone who has been brought into the light.
That's right.
See, I'm talking to one who the Most High has turned one of his what? One of his, y'all one of his what? Elects. See, that's who I'm talking to. There's a death warrant on you for your failure to adhere and for your failure to have proper respect for the power that we are in the midst of.
Yeah.
See? That's what we've got to be able to understand. That's what we've got to be able to know, and that's what we've got to be able to put into its proper historical perspective. Right?
That's right.
This Black History Month. Y'all know that? It's Black History Month, Viola. Did y'all know that Dr. King said it should be clear to us that there is an unfinished agenda, that we have miles to go before we reach the promised land. Now, you know, King didn't know that he was Israel, even though there were those who have told him that. He didn't really understand it. You see what I'm saying? But he knew that civil rights alone ain't gonna make it for us. He knew that. And the new reality must answer the question asked by Dr. King. Y'all know what that question was?
Yep.
What was it?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah. Rabbi said it, and Rob said it. That's the question. Where do we go from here? That's what Dr. King said. He said, where? What we gonna do now, y'all?
What's next?
I done done all I can do. I didn't get yet to the door.
Next man up.
Hey, there you go.
Next man up.
Next man up. Next man up, Sylvia. Next man up, Rashawn. Next man up, Viola. Jason. Rose. Zebedee. Next man up. See? That's what we had today, Sister Sid. Next man up. See? That's the new reality, you all. Dr. King gone. They bust a cap in him.
Come on, man.
Because he beat him down. Dr. King beat him down. They bust a cap in him. See? Dr. King understood that the civil rights alone could not address the true nature of the problem but what could? He did not know. He did not know. Hence the question, where do we go from here? What we gonna do now, y'all? See, that's where we at today. That's what we've got to be able to understand and to put into its proper historical perspective.
Wow.
See, you've got to be able to identify the moment in history that we are in.
Come on.
And you got to take your place in that role. You see what I'm saying? Next man up. I love that.
Wow.
And I'm going to say to you, don't be fearful. But you will not be able to meet your responsibility if you have not welcomed into your life the spirit of divine enlightenment. That's the power that the Most High has made available for us in order for us to be the next man up. See, because the next man up is responsible for setting up the next world power system in the earth. Did y'all know that?
The final.
See, that's your job. See, you got to pull this one down and you got to set that one up.
That's the job.
That's your job. Next man up. So you got to say, I have welcomed into our life the spirit of divine enlightenment. I am no longer entangled in the yoke of bondage. I thank Yah for a true light. For light is truth and truth is light. Hallelujah!
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 Hallelujah!